Welcome, everyone. It's so good to see you all. My name is Sarah Bragan, and I am delighted to be your host for this session with Shelley Hainer leading. And we're in for a treat. Shelley is going to lead us today, and Shelley has a very varied background, but always centering around somatic work, sensory awareness in many, many different aspects. And it's sure to be a deep and interesting and probably fun class today. So I'd like to turn the class over now to Shelley, and I really look forward to following you today.
Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Good morning to new friends, old friends, first timers. It's so lovely to share this practice with you. And also a bow to the lineage in the sensory awareness community, starting back with Elsa Gindler and Charlotte Selver and Carola Speeds and my initial teacher, Therese Bertherat, who called her work anti-gymnastics, and all the rest. So just honoring being part of that lineage that embraces change from the inside out. And to get started, I would like you all to feel invited to arise from where you're sitting and just begin to walk in your space, pace as I do this opening preamble. I would like you to perambulate. So walk around your space, and we've already begun. So everything is fodder for investigation. How you move, how you are with yourself, right? So the invitation is to wander and listen. Don't go out of earshot. Wander, pace back and forth, move in any direction you wish. Zigzag, do a straight line, formal walking meditation, where you select 2 points and just go back to back. Whatever you want. Experience this pacing as the beginning of our experiment. If you wish to engage and stay with yourself throughout, we're on the move. As we connect in movement, even to the still point. And as you pace, notice that you are doing this. Feel what's underneath your feet. Yeah, the ground we share. This earth under our feet, the laws of physics at play, gravity holding us. This is true. This is a palpable, true experience. You are embodied in a particular form, made of elements, held with this force of gravity. You do nothing, and it's there for you. Try to ignore it and defy it. Do you begin to float up to the ceiling because you're defying gravity? No, I don't think so. This is nothing to question. This is the ground we share. We share palpable experience. And moreover, in addition to this, and perhaps lamenting with the complexities of our experience, our preferences, our habits and patterns, our nervous system, our relational field of interaction. And so why do we do this practice? What is our intention? What brings you here to this sensory awareness practice? We all have senses. I mean, they're operating. So what do we have to do? So even now, as you've been pacing, watching your thoughts, feeling the air against your skin, noting the temperature, the weight of your clothes, the lifting and placing of your feet, the heaviness of the limbs, or the lightness. Do you begin to settle in your body? And how do you know that? Do you meet yourself wherever you are with friendliness? Or what condition are you in? We walk around a lot all day, here and there and out and back and errands and chores. We're moving all the time. As you're pacing and wandering and sauntering indoors here, are you able to feel any stillness inside? And what happens to your sense gates if you were to open the aperture of each of them wider than they may appear or feel or smell or taste or hear to you right now? And maybe this influences how quickly or slowly you move. So investigate the senses as your anchor in time and space in this relational field of interaction. You inside you moving as a person, a being, an object in space, the space you're moving through coming into you. So there are layers of interaction happening. And follow whatever urge you may have as you move or come to not moving. And when you come to not move for a moment and check in, what is your condition? And what happens when the eyes close? And what happens when they open? How do you note the visual field drawing you away from your inner experience? Or is there spaciousness within the visual field? And this begins our accessibility with these open apertures to go deep. We're pioneers of ourselves. I love the image of a trailblazer inside myself, my whole self, my thinking body, as Mabel Todd would say. And there might be a flush with open apertures of all the senses accessible. There might be a flush, unexpected, something, vibration. And suddenly we realize we may be in bundles of paradoxes inside ourselves. We are living paradoxes of energies. And so the hypothesis I propose is that our senses are a source of connection, of creativity, of healing. It's a hub we return to again and again in the world as we move, and as we come to be still. So I would like you now to perambulate and find yourself in front of a hard-backed chair with your knees just against the edge of the chair, but you're not sitting, you're standing. And you feel the chair behind your knees, and you're just standing. This is not walking. Though the wake of your walking, the residual, the echo of that motion may still be alive in you, including whatever thought streams might still be drawing your attention into the head, into the thinking. And if you see that, just remember gravity, the ground we share, it's holding you, and bring your awareness, your self-awareness, to join your sensory knowing in the bottoms of your feet. Feel yourself held there and rest. Just rest. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And just be with your own friendliness here. What we just did is gone. We don't know what's coming next. And you may begin to sense your breathing. And if so, where is the movement of breathing most prominent in you right now? And be with that and watch how it may change. And you may wish to open the eyes if they're closed and just allow an open, easy, panoramic view of where you're standing without losing the feeling of the feet grounded in the backs of the knees, the weight of the clothes, temperatures on the body, cool, warm, sounds coming in, without holding any of them, letting them flow, and then the eyes can close again.
Yeah.
And just noting when the visual field is gone, what happens right there? What switches off, what switches on in your internal experience? And you might want to open and close your eyes a couple of times slowly as you wish to just kind of register, if you register some change in you and how you receive these little nuggets of knowing. Take an index finger from either hand, it doesn't matter which, and starting down at your pubic bone, you might just press in and feel the pubic bone, really at the base, the very base of your pelvis, lower torso, and just tickle your belly all the way up the middle to the base of your neck, that little crevice that's between your collarbone. Just a nice little tickle, just a swift little, hardly like you're grazing your belly, just all the way up, not down, just up, not down, just up. You might want to try down, go ahead, but I'm suggesting for right now, stay up, and of course, do whatever you wish. And tickle your belly from the base to the top, and then just rest a moment. And notice if there's a stimulation, a subtle one perhaps, that ripples through you like a pebble in a pond. And if you're not sure, do it again. Do it again. A few times, quickly. rather than slowly. And then maybe slowly, a few times slowly. And what happens in your standing when you do that? Is something changing? Is there a natural something without thinking that the body just leads with? And then similarly with your finger, at the base of that same spot at the top between the collarbone, stroke the neck up in that concave shape, up the throat to under your chin. And do that a few times. A little tickle, and then rest and feel, what is that? What does that evoke? This thinking body. What does this body do with that little sensation and directive with my finger? And you do it again, a little faster, a little slower, however you like. And notice, too, what happens with standing and maybe even breathing. Is there a change? Did you notice? You are the scientist here, looking for your proof in your hypothesis of the sensory doors, their apertures open internally and externally and in between, and noting pleasant or unpleasant perhaps, or tightness, and tightness isn't necessarily bad. Tension helps us to stand up. How do we stand? And feeling the back of your knees against the chair, you can just let the torso drop and sit, finding your sitting bones, coming into the chair, feet flat, heels under your knees. So here we are. And now we're sitting. And we know that, and we feel our buttocks at the edge of the straight back chair, feet flat, almost as if the body is in the shape of a chair. And if you squeeze your right buttock and let it go, and then squeeze your left buttock and let it go, feeling for your sitting bone right there, centered and seated with less effort. And now here, let's take that finger and just do that tickle again up the front of the torso, just to the base of the collarbone a few times. And then from the base of the collarbone up the throat, up to the chin, without moving too much. What is this upright alignment feel like? Heavy, light, forward, back? You can move a little front or back without falling off your sitting bones. Move a little right and left without falling off, to find this center place where balance is happening and maybe ever changing. And if you were to take your right hand and just let it rest in your left palm, and letting the arm's weight truly rest in your other hand. So you might, just to exaggerate, you might hike up your shoulder, kind of tense your arm a little bit, and then let it go. And let that arm really yield into your other hand, resting. Noting your uprightness and breathing. And then let the hands go and just let them hang at your sides or in your lap. Wherever they fall is fine. Noting what's there to be discovered. And then with both hands going forward, if you put your you put your right hand in your left. So take both palms around the upper part of your right thigh and lift without any help from your leg. Lift your leg. Can you lift your leg off the floor, even like a half an inch, with your hands? So the leg isn't helping. You're just lifting and letting it go. Noting the weight of the leg. And then the other leg, just kind of like a test, like just checking the weight. And then this is also similar, just let the left hand rest in the right palm. So we've kind of done a tour of our limbs, hanging, weighted. And that's it. And then just release that and let the arms hang or dangle or rest in your lap. Balancing on your sitting bones, upright torso, and bringing your fingertips together to tap them. And each fingertip, each little pod of the tips of your fingers against your thumb, just kind of like little pillows, little caterpillar feet, just waking up your fingertips. Yeah, I like them as caterpillar feet because of what's coming. So we've gotten them ready to wiggle and dance, and so we're going to spend some time now, and I want to share the experiment with you, and of course I'll offer some reminders along the way. But what I'd like you to do with your caterpillar feet is explore your sternum. So how I would like you to do this is very slowly kind of walking your fingertips down your breastbone. And you can go all the way down once to the base. And at the base, you'll touch the xiphoid. It's a little pointy spot. It can be quite sensitive. And then just rest. And then when you go back and do it again, I would like you to explore by pressing down like this, 4 fingers, the first 2, just pressing on the sternum at the top as you breathe, pressing as you breathe. And from the inside, feeling the texture of the sternum, pressing on it with a little bit of effort, not much, and then keeping the fingers there, release the pressure so that the fingers don't quite come away, but you've freed up the pressing. And stay right where you were pressing and breathe as naturally as your breath will flow, no interference. And then slowly walk the fingers down the next half an inch and breathe there and press and notice, the texture of the bone, its qualities, and then you can release and just let breathing continue, noting if there's anything changing in your experience around breath. And walking the fingers down another little bit and pressing there. And maybe there's a difference in the texture here. Hard, spongy, soft. What do you find? And how is breathing responding in the movement that's reflected from breathing? And then walking down another little bit, resting on the manubrium, the sternum, pressing. And feel free to stay longer or to go back to the top and start again. And working your way methodically, like you were shining your breastbone, dusting it, giving it a good sweep. You might experiment on purpose and take, a slower breath, a longer breath, a deeper breath, a shorter breath. I don't know, have some fun with yourself. Working all the way down. And when you get to the bottom, that little tail, be very gentle. You might just need one fingertip on the very tip of that xiphoid process, as it's called, like a butterfly tail. Massaging it a little bit, pressing on it a little bit. Very delicate, very interior, very intimate. What happens with breathing? Where is the movement now naturally unfolding as your aperture, your kinesthetic aperture, your feeling aperture opens wide and even wider? And when you've made one complete slow crawl with your caterpillar feet down, just take a rest and be with your friendliness now, open and receptive, noting what may have changed for you in your condition. Where there's warmth, where there's coolness. And perhaps you want to do that little tickle up the front of your torso again now, just for fun, to feel that through line and under the chin. Really marinating in this quiet place and appreciating the journey. Now, with your right palm, bring it around to the side at the base of your left rib cage, and with your left palm, turn it back and hold the back lower part of your rib cage in your torso. Yeah. So you're kind of giving yourself a little side hug. And close your eyes. And you're just with yourself here, feeling your hands resting and breathing. That's all. How the hands rest on your lower torso this way, and how the torso, the side of you, the front and back of you, connects to the hands surrounding this relational place. And just breathe and receive and allow. Feeling the condition of you, feeling this friendliness and intimate connection, slowing down and connecting, and really savoring the connection, really marinating in this delight. Letting go into its natural flow. And when you are ready, the hands can just come away and dangle or rest on your lap, and feel yourself upright and balanced. How alive is the energy in you, this palpable knowing, this embodied knowing through your sense gates or form or structure. What we're made of is enough of an experiment. And now when you're ready, your hands placed on the other, your left palm on the right front ribs, the right hand turned back on the back of the lower ribs in the back of you, and just rest there and breathe. This side may feel different. Your hands turned this way may feel awkward. Different way of holding this side hug. How do you meet yourself here? And the ribs moving, the skin moving out to the palms, and the palms resting gently. Maybe you want to press a little bit. We didn't do that on the other side, but that's okay. You might want to just give a little squeeze and release. Breathing naturally. And with the hands in place and breathing happening on its own, just be aware of your left shoulder and allow it to drop. You might start to turn the whole torso a little bit to the left and then back while you're still holding your ribs. And then maybe you want to turn a little bit. Just the ribs are turning, the head follows. And when you feel that it's time for the hands to come away, well, obey them and just allow that, freeing them up. Sitting settled. And rising to standing now, feeling the body upright, changed perhaps in some way with breathing, changed perhaps in some way and notice when you hear this next offer, invitation, how you respond. You might feel perfectly content just staying here. So maybe there's a very subtle response in you to the next invitation. So feel into the offer to once again wander, perambulate, pace and zigzag around your physical space. And perhaps like a puppy or a kitten, all supple and vital and ready, circle yourself around until you find the perfect spot to lie down, and to lie down on your back or on your side. And if you need a pillow or would like a blanket, just whatever is in reach to meet your desire, and lie yourself down with the same delicious friendliness without losing your breath. So I'm asked to speak a little louder. I hope you all hear me. I'm asking you to circle around and find the perfect space to curl down onto the floor, to lie down on your back or your side, and just have a rest, holding your ribs, hand on your chest. How much space does your hand take on your chest? Notice the proportion of your hand on you. How good a fit is it? And enjoy a few moments here of savoring connection, the possibility of creating fresh, stepping out of an autopilot pattern or habit of motion or breathing, restoring, reconnecting, alignment with this ground we share, each of us in a unique embodied life, sharing the ground and the elements, our beating hearts, our breath, our sensitivities. And remember, we considered our intention, what brings us to this practice. Well, here is your answer: to harvest and to know, palpably know. This is not a concept. This is an experience of knowing through all of you. You know, these spaces of in between, these moments of transition are not moments of transition. They're not moments in between. They're moments of full now, present, alive, fecund, ready. And on your back, you might want to slide the legs down or bring them up. If you're on one side, you might want to roll onto the other side. And as you are ready, without losing the friend you're with right now, slowly come back to our circle, as we do at the end, to be together and quietly share the harvest, such as we may, if we are able to find words, which is not always easy. And as we gather, please join us back on screen if you would like. We love to see everyone. And in your own time, if you have something to speak about or ask about, with courtesy to all of us, you may unmute. And we have a little time.
Hi, Shelley. And everyone.
Hi, Jennifer.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. I'm much more calmer. Initially, when I was walking around, I've been dealing with plantar fasciitis for the past year on my left foot. So walking and standing has not been easy. It's getting better though. And maybe it's healed. Who knows? Initially, when I was walking around, I could feel it on my left foot, and I was very aware of it. And then we did the sitting down, and then the holding and the touching. And then when I got up again, I didn't feel, I think because my nervous system had calmed down so much, I didn't feel that left, or the pain in the left foot. Which means hopefully this is it, or the more I calm my nervous system down, the more that ideally, hopefully this will be a thing of the past, preferably. So just this experience in itself is giving me much hope. So, because yeah, just standing has been painful. Look at it. So I'm hoping anyway. So thank you so much. If this is just fleeting, then I know that this is the way forward, and I know I've been knowing. Sorry, I will. My intuition has been saying that I just have to feel my nervous system in the process to heal this, right? But this just reinforces it, even if it's just a blip. Or maybe it's healed. Maybe that's it. Maybe this has been the solution. But anyway, thank you so much. And thank you, everyone.
May it be so, Jennifer. May it be so.
May it be so, yes. Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that. Mauricio, you're muted. You're muted.
Yes, you. There we go. Shelley, thank you very much. I am always wonderfully surprised at the meticulous nature of the way we play in these sessions. I'm going to call it play for a lack of other words. But I normally mention how valuable this is for me because it connects directly with my work as an actor. And we call this thing an instrument. And you're asking me to play in a way that I've never played before. In other words, you're asking me to rediscover and then only in the last few months, because the psychotherapist mentioned it and you mentioned it today, it's my oldest friend. But so I've got this gorgeous thing that I can be grateful for of having, and it's a healthy one. Oh boy, that's a miracle. So to have this friend, but also the first thing that started thrilling me about the sessions that we have together is how they affect my work as an actor. And this, like you're showing us how to rediscover this beautiful, miraculous, this miracle is what it is. It's a friggin' miracle, and we're rediscovering it with you. So, and the simplicity of it facilitates a gorgeous connection, I think. And what you were saying a moment ago, that it almost feels like you're getting, it sounds crazy, but it does feel like you're getting a whole new lease.
Thank you, Mauricio.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Refreshment.
Thank you, Shelley. I feel so upright right now because so much of the time is computer and the shoulder droppings and the rib holding and the buttocks up and down and walking. It's really nice to return to an upright posture. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Leslie. Yes, that was an intention on my part to very gently bring alignment into play, right? And to feel what that is and to reinstate it again and again, standing, sitting, lying. We spend so much time leaning forward into the next moment, into the next bite of cake, into the next, into the next, into the next. So to be in an alignment right now, we can have a refreshment, a fresh start. And to do that, I know lots of people put a timer on every hour to remember to have a mindful moment or whatever, but it really does accumulate and creates this new habit. And the autopilot, well, no one ever wants to be on autopilot, but at least the swap out is a healthier one, right? If we can train our brain to prefer an upright alignment with gravity that's holding us, we can relax. We can let go there. We're not going to float to the ceiling. Sometimes I wish I could. Yeah, thank you, Leslie, for sharing your awareness around that. It's very great. Yes, Michael.
Yeah, I just one of the things I particularly liked about the experiments today was that if you had told us, if you told me to realign myself, to bring myself into greater verticality or anything like that, I would have probably done it. And but not with nearly the effect, the pleasure, and the indelibility of the zipping up, and so I was quite involved with tracing the tickling. And then you said, have a look, how's your posture? Or you didn't say posture, but how is your standing? And my standing was wonderful. It was all by itself. It had changed. That is, I had given some stimulation without any intent of changing my posture, and my posture had arrived. Right? Not always true during the session. When you said, please lift your leg with your hands, it was almost impossible not to help out with my leg for me. Like my leg, I'd like to lift my leg, but no, my leg decided to kind of join in and participate as well. And it was very tricky. I finally arrived at a point where I could, for brief moments of time, allow my leg to be lifted by my hands without aiding. But again, you called us earlier, you labeled us bundles of paradoxes. I see what you meant. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I love it. Love your report. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Yeah, the legs are heavy. I mean, if we were in person doing an experiment with another person and we were lifting each other's legs or even holding each other's hand and feeling the weight of the arm in the hand, it would be work to lift a leg. I mean, it's a heavy bunch of muscle, that leg. So how do we walk? We're lifting them all the time. So an alignment and the appreciation of the instrument, so to speak, the architectural integrity of the skeletal muscular system, when in alignment, works efficiently with ease. So this is also palpable to know this, not as a concept, but to live that in your body. And for me, with this practice, it is a way to do everything. If we can slow down, stay connected, savor that connection, and then create out of that refreshment rather than, how we typically forget all that. We forget. I mean, it's not our fault. We're human. We forget.